2000 were the Olympic Games and in Sydney, and I still remember two people lit up this place. One was Peter van den Hogenband, and the other one, Inge de Bruijn, who I'm grateful to be able to interview today. Welcome, Inge.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you for having me.
Inge is 4-time Olympic champion, 8 Olympic medals in total, Swimming Hall of Fame, broke multiple world records, 5-time Olympic world champion, and considered one of the most successful female swimmers in history.
Yes, and I'm still the best Olympian ever from the Summer Olympic Games.
Okay.
So I'm pretty proud of that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you told me earlier your family has, everyone is swimming.
Yeah.
When did you get started with swimming?
Well, I started when I was 4 for my A diploma. And while every kid was like crying like a baby, I was like so excited and achieved it all in once. And from that point on, I was affected by the virus, as they say, because my whole family, it was kind of a logic thing that I was going to go for swimming. My whole family, which means aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, they all did swimming or water polo. So I started off with water polo and swimming, and I preferred water polo even a little bit more because I was in the same team as my twin sister, and she was really good. So I always felt proud to be on her team, but I had no ball feeling, so that was like a no-go. And when I was 7, I had my first gold medal at the club championships at this team that I started with. And it always tastes like more, you know, if you win gold as a little kid of 11 years old. 7 years old, sorry. It always tastes, you get the eagerness from as a youngster. Then when I was 11, I got my first invite from the Dutch Swimming Committee to go to London. And I've never flown in my life, so I was pretty excited for an 8-country competition in London, which didn't mean a lot, but for me it was a really big deal because it was the first time that I was going to fly. My mom at the time had to raise 4 kids. She had no money to go on a holiday, so it was really my first time flying. And I always wanted to become also a flight attendant. I had many dreams as a little kid. I wanted to be a good swimmer and a flight attendant, because then I could see the whole world. And through my passion with swimming and the passion for traveling, it was like one complete thing all in once, because through swimming I flew over the whole world and I've seen many places, many faces. So I'm a very privileged lady that I've came across so many countries and could fly so much in my life. And I still have that. I still, if I fly, wherever I go, even if it's short or it's 24 hours to Sydney or Australia or Africa or whatever, I always start with a big smile when I'm on the airport. Yeah, I'm very privileged to be able to do those things. Yeah.
And in your swimming career, when did you realize you can be really good?
Well, it was actually my first coach from my first club team in the little village that I was born in, Barendrecht, Chef Sluiters. He told my mom, the very first training, he said, well, ma'am, she's a really good talent. And my mom told me, oh, girl, that's what they say all the time to everybody. But eventually, years later, of course, he was really, really right. He could see the talent. He told me afterwards that he saw the eagerness. I always wanted to be better. I was hanging on his lips, as we speak, as we say in the Netherlands. I was so eager to be better. I had the build. I was built like for a swimmer. That was tested later also, that I had the best measurements together with Peter van den Hogenband to be a good swimmer. And and if you're good, I mean, if you're talented and somebody tells you that, you start believing in that as well. And that helps a lot, I think. So my first coach told me about the talent, and then you get your first medal, and then you go higher. First you do the European Youth Championships, you get second and a bronze medal. One was in Amersfoort, the Netherlands, and the other one was in Rome, Italy. And then you start doing the European Championships, then World Championships, and then step by step you reset your goals, so to speak. And then eventually is the Olympic Games. And my first one was in 1992, Barcelona. But it was a disaster for me because in the training camp ahead of time, I had a food poisoning. So I was like completely, condition-wise, you lose your condition if you, really weak, because of the throw-up and the diarrhea, which was unfortunate because it was my first Olympics and I was so excited to go. But you have to realize it's such a big main event. It's the highest level you can get in swimming and many other sports. It's the highest podium you can perform at. But it's so impressive, especially as a young kid of 17 years old. I was taking pictures of King Carlos who was walking through the dining hall. Marlene Otti, who walked on high heels with a red dress to make an impression on her rivals. And then I was eating at lunch. I was looking at the left and I saw Boris Becker and I couldn't even swallow my food because I was like, whoa, holy macaroni, I'm eating with Boris Becker next to me. It was too much impressions, and which is, it costs you a lot of energy, and I was already tired before I even touched the water. So that was a big lesson for me. And that was good because years later I qualified for Sydney, the Olympics, and then I knew exactly what to do and what not to do. Not taking pictures, only stay on my bed, and when it was time to go to the swimming pool, you take the bus. You don't go walking, you take the bus. Only focus on one thing, and I came for one thing, and that was winning and be the best in the world, because that was my dream. And not to be distracted by anyone or anything, and that was the main thing. And my drive going into the Olympic Games in Sydney, to keep your focus, it's so important, and not to look on anybody on the left, right, or even I didn't even care who my rivals were at that time. It wasn't important for me. I have to say, swim your own race. It's an individual sport, so if you start looking at other people, you lose your focus on your race, and then you're out. And you don't train 4 years for nothing. I didn't let that happen to me.
I've actually written that down with the food poisoning. That 1992. You still made it to the final in the 50-meter freestyle, right?
Pretty shocking with food poisoning, yes.
And also, I think, interestingly, Michael Johnson also had food poisoning in Barcelona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was supposed to perform well, and he didn't. And then in 1996 in Atlanta, obviously, then he won the 200 and 400.
Yeah, but it's always sad when on the crucial times that you have to, prove yourself. And for me, it was proving myself. But some people do it for the outside world. But for me, it was, I want to do good. And then you get that food poisoning. You can't help it, and you cannot overcome it that quickly. So then your whole preparation, your whole goal, your whole expectation fall into pieces. But those are all side effects that can destroy the outcome. Yeah. Some people get an injury. I'm blessed to say that I've never had an injury in my swimming career ever. You have to take care of your body. You have to sleep well. You have to eat right. Rest. Take massages. Do what's best for you, and don't let anything. Take away that your energy. But if you get injured, there's also. I find it very sad all the time for athletes. I feel with them because I've never had that happening, and it's a big distraction in your whole path to improve or even to score at the right time. Yeah.
And this moment at the Barcelona Olympics '92, was that the darkest moment in your athletic career, or were there darker moments?
No, that was the beginning, actually, of all the beautiful things that were going to come. Of course, I had the food poisoning, but to be at the Olympics, it's not only, some people say it's not just being at the Olympics, you have to win, but at that moment in my life, when I was 17 years old, a final was really good for me. I mean, I didn't have in my mind that I was going to get a medal or so.
Okay.
I was too young, unexperienced, Of course, everybody wants that, and as a little kid, of course you want it, but you have to be realistic.
Yeah.
Now, my darkest moment, if you can call it a darkest moment, I think it's the best moment. Sometimes darkest moments are the little presents in your life that you have to go through, and at that moment you see it as a black page. But in the end, it's not, because you have to get the struggles, you have to go through a difficult time, the sadness, deal with all the barricades that are in front of you in order to reach that goal. It's no fun if everything goes the right way and easy, because success doesn't come easy. There's no easy way to go to the top. And that's more fulfilling if you are at the top and you think back of all the difficult times, the barricades you had to go through, jump over, and that makes it more fulfilling, and that satisfaction feeling is even better. So my darkest moment was 1996. I qualified for the Olympics Atlanta, and myself called up the Olympic Committee with the news that I was not going to participate in the Olympic Games. And why, you might ask? Because I didn't feel worthy enough to represent the Netherlands. Plus, I've been swimming since I was 7. I started when I was 7. It was always like, okay, swimming, school, swimming, homework, sleep. And I didn't feel for going out or, like boyfriends. It was just that, because I was so passionate about it. And every single person in life, business or in sports, get sort of like that black page or a setback that you don't feel like doing it. You struggle you lose your passion, basically. That was it for me. I wasn't motivated. I didn't feel good enough to represent my country. I wanted to do what my same age were doing, which was sometimes going out and a boyfriend. I wanted to experience that too, because I never had that up till then. So I decided to cancel, and everybody was in shock. And of course, they don't take that for granted, because who on earth, as an athlete, if you think like an athlete, who on earth is going to skip the Olympics if that's the highest ever you can reach? I have the ticket in my pocket and I'm not going. So, you lose your sponsors. People are angry. Athletes are angry at you because people want to go to the Olympic Games, don't achieve it, and I cancel the easiest way. Yeah, but for me, I was 100%. I stood 100% behind that choice, but then the moment came that I was watching the Olympic on TV, and I was bawling, crying my eyeballs out, because at that moment I realized I should be there. I had my ticket, I trained for it, but I wasn't ready. And all of a sudden it came up in my mind like, okay, I didn't use all my talent yet. But I lost the passion, so I had to find a way, to find that again. And then all of a sudden, that moment that I was watching the games, crying my eyeballs out, I knew I'm not finished where I started. I didn't finish what I had started. I didn't use my talent, so I decided that's like I already saw the little light at the end of the tunnel, basically. But because the Netherlands, they didn't take it for granted that I did that, so I kind of escaped with my twin sister to the United States for a holiday, and a friend of mine who was also an American swimmer on the American team. He invited to come to Washington D.C., And I believe in faith. I think that choice I had to make at that time, because through Rock Santos, the swimmer, I met Coach Bergen, which became my mentor, I always wanted to call him God, but that's a little bit too far. But since I became training in the US, started swimming in the US, I first had to do a test week. And in the Netherlands, everybody wants to coach you, and with him, he was, of course, you can compare him a little bit with Johan Cruyff in the Netherlands. If he walks into the pool, everybody is like, he lights up the place. He's the champion maker. He had many Olympic champions, world record holders, world champions. But it didn't have a guarantee for me that I was going to become that. But in the United States, he had a whole new program, new people around you, a new coach. We started doing dry land, never done that. It was only swimming and 2 times a week weight training. And all of a sudden, that passion started to come back again. And that is so necessary in everything you do. You need to have the passion, otherwise it's worthless. Yeah. No passion, no joy, and no success. You cannot do anything without passion. If you're a jewelry maker, same thing. If you're a businessman, if you're an athlete, you cannot do it without passion. Yeah. And some people can, because I think back about Andre Agassi. He was basically forced by his dad. And to do something against your will, for me, would be very difficult. Yeah. So, I was lifting up again when I started training there. And he gave me, in the beginning, he gave me a card with 4 of my disciplines. So the butterfly, the freestyle, the sprint numbers, so the 50 and 100. And I looked at it and I was like, you're crazy. Impossible. And I learned from him, nothing is impossible. And he believed in me before I even started believing in myself. And that's such a gift, basically. He knew what I was capable of doing. He saw it body-wise, a swimmer's body, and my eagerness and my joy in the water. I wanted to learn from him everything that he said I wanted to do to reach that higher level. And if he says he can make me a champion, why not believing it? But you have to feel it. You don't dream about it. No, you have to really feel it inside. So I visualized like 1,000,000 times the perfect race, like a little bit like neuro-linguistic programming, like Anthony Robbins. Visualize the best race and the best form and shape ever. And that was the race eventually that I did in Sydney 2000. And the times on that little card were also the times that I did in a world record in Sydney.
Oh yeah?
So he was right. He knew it all along. But I had to start believing in it first. I thought it was completely out of my league to do those times.
Yeah. And now a hypothetical question. Without that moment in '96, withdrawing and sitting in front of the television and crying,
right?
Without that moment, would you have done the same in Sydney?
I think not. And I also think if I would have gone with no motivation to Atlanta, the Olympics, I think I would have quit after Atlanta and never would have been successful and Olympic champion 4 times after that in Sydney. No. So it could have been a whole total different ball game. So I think I did make the right choice in '96 to skip the Olympics, because then, it clicked. I had a revision, or how do you say it? I opened my eyes, like it was an eye opener. Sorry, it was an eye opener basically, and I wasn't finished yet with my talent. So it's a blessing, it's a gift. That's what I meant with the gift, to come across those painful moments and the darker moments in your sport career. You always have to take a few steps back before you can go forward again. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's not a bad thing. Some people talk about the black hole after your career when you quit. I've never had that. Okay. It was more like ontdek je plekje, like searching for your way into the normal life, because you're so protected all those years in your swimming element. I mean, you know your coach, you know that you have to wake up 4:30 in the morning, train, eat, sleep. You know the direction you have to go to, because that's what he tells you to do, your coach. To go to the training camp, which competition you have to perform in, which big events you have to go to. It's all organized and all set up.
What was your best moment?
Swimming-wise? Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't know what it feels like to have kids or be married, and a lot of athletes say that's the most beautiful moment in your life, but for me it's that 1 week in Sydney that I was capable to do anything I wished for, trained for, dreamed of. You know, that you excelled in so many ways. I was so strong physically, mentally. It's the most important thing. It's 80% of your race is mentally. And everything fell into place. That's magic. It's magic. From A to Z, you know, the whole week, but also the races. I already was ecstatic the first night when I had to do the relay with the girls, and I was anchor, so I started as fourth lady, and we were placed 7th. And yeah, I'm like, okay, I do what I came here for, and that's to swim my ass off, and go for it and try the best I can. And I touched the wall, and I saw the girls, standing and cheering on I was like, well, maybe a national record. I had no idea. And then I saw a 2 on the scoreboard. I was like, it's the first time I'm going to be on the Olympic podium. That was like, I can go home now. Not knowing that there will also come like 3 gold medals in world records after that, in that week. It was the best week. I think it was the best week in my life, if I may say it. Yeah.
Well, if that's how it feels.
Yeah, if it contains so much. It's only 1 week and 1 Olympic game at that moment, but it takes so many years of dedication, hard work, tears, loneliness to get there. And that makes it all so complete. And then, you touch the wall. It's like you want to scream, you want to cry, you want to... If a reporter asks me, how does that feel? How do you feel right now? It's so difficult to explain. You have to feel it. I wish everybody on earth could feel that moment, because it's the best feeling ever. And then to see your mom in the stands and your sister, and you hear the anthem, the gold medal, that gives like flashbacks of all the past things that you had to go through and where it all started as a little girl. It's the most beautiful thing. But you don't get it as a present. That's the most beautiful thing also. You have to struggle. I mean, if all the training were made for you or me and it was easy, you don't have that challenge. You don't, It's nice.
And what did you learn from that moment? How has it shaped your life after that?
Sydney, you mean? Or both Olympics?
The week. You said the best week in your
life.
Well,
for me it was a pretty difficult thing to cope with, all of a sudden be profiled as a celebrity, because I never wanted to be that. I just wanted to swim hard and be the best in the world. So I had to really, get used to that, basically. The attention, and that everybody, taking notice what you wear, what you eat, how's your hair, what's she wearing. I found very difficult in the beginning. But also you don't get a cursus for that. You have to deal with it and cope with it. And of course, I love to inspire people. I still do that. I give swim clinics to young girls, but also to the elderly, to get them out of the isolation, and for the social aspect and for health reasons. It's very important that they do that. Swimming is the best sport that you can think of to keep your body healthy. You use every single muscle in your body. So and presentations also to companies that I give. So because sport and business is, to me, is equal. You always have to set goals. You want to achieve that, or even be better than that achievement. You have to cope with setbacks. How do you deal with that? How do you recover from that also? That's the most important thing. How are you in teamwork? But it's nice, really nice to, with my success, that I can inspire people. Young, old, swimming, in the business. That's why I love giving, swim clinics for kids, celebrities, or elderly, it doesn't really matter. And the presentations that I do, or motivational speaker that I am for companies, because, it's a privilege to do that and share my experiences. That it's not all shiny, bright, and only winning gold medals. There's a long path that you have to deal with and walk or swim. In my case, to get there, the highest level. It's not easy. But it's fun at the end.
Once you're there, it's fun. So imagine you can go back in time 10, 15 or 20 years and you meet the younger Inge. What advice would you give her?
I think the same advice what my mom gave me. Just enjoy, have fun. Of course, now 46. At the age of 46, you have so much more know-how and knowledge in your baggage. Maybe I did things sometimes a little rushed. I skipped practices when I was young, but that's also okay. You're young, but if you're a top athlete, like a professional swimmer or athlete, whatever, then you have to do the concessions, I believe. Yeah.
I saw in an interview you said you were very harsh with others and even more harsh on yourself.
No, I'm not harsh on others. It's more that I wanted a coach to be harsh on me. Okay. I needed that. Because in the Netherlands, it's a lot of times the case that the athlete have a lot of conversations and a say with the coach in where to go and which swimming races or meets they're going to go to. In the United States with Coach Bergen, it was never like that. He is the boss. He decides what's going to happen. It's his way or the highway, and you have to obey, which I find very nice to work that way. But I'm very. I give a lot of compliments to people. I love giving compliments, especially to younger kids, but also to a man, female, doesn't matter. But for me, I'm very critical to myself. But that's that's an athlete thing. Athletes you have to be critical. If you give in the Netherlands, you always get compliments. What a fabulous technique! What a talent! And all of a sudden, it goes one ear in, the other one out, because it doesn't do anything with you. When I started training in the United States, I never did anything good. I get like one compliment in 2.5 months. And I didn't know how fast I wanted to go back to the hotel, write my whole practice down, and then a big smiley face underneath, because I deserved the compliment. You have to work for a medal or a compliment. That works for me. But I've been asked to do a training camp, to be head coach of a country, Egypt, a while ago. But I think I'm the worst head coach ever for an elite swim team, because I'm really harsh on me, but never on others, swimming-wise. If somebody would say I have a headache, I would say, oh, you can go home. So I'm a tough cookie for myself, which is okay, but to others, I think I'm too soft. I'm a softie for that.
Yeah, because I wrote this down when I did my research, and then when I was waiting for you, I saw you were the nicest person out there, right? You always take time for the kids who want to take a photo with you. So
always.
I didn't see this harsh to others actually when I was waiting for
No,
you.
but the press doesn't always have it at the right end.
Okay.
There's many things written about me that doesn't stroke with who I am. Only my close circle knows. I've been also called a diva. People who really know me know that I'm always in my jeans and my sweatpants and with no makeup. I do the groceries. It's no problem for me. I'm not every day in a gala dress and my hair well done. No, I'm not that type of person. But if I have to go to a gala and there's a dress code, of course you do that. Yep. But I still live here in this little village where I was born, and my mom always raised me with great values and norms. And that's be kind to others. Never forget to give your own opinion, because I have, as we speak in the Netherlands, in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, we have the heart on the tongue, and pull your sleeves up and work for it. That's my motto. And if you are self-secure, secured of your case and outspoken, people find that frightening sometimes. But it's the most honest way you can get, and I prefer that than to be surrounded by sneaky people who tell you in your face that you're nice, but in your back, as soon as you turn around, they stab you with a knife. Yeah, the backstabbing thing. I like real people and honesty. And my mom always said, if you're gonna, after all the gold medals, and if you start changing, you started to be arrogant or a little bit with your a little bit too much with your head up in the sky, then you never have to come in my house again. And I always remember that. Yeah, well, it should be this way. I'm not more special than the guy who picks up the trash. I never put myself above, but I also never put myself underneath anybody. We're all equal. And that's the nice thing about the lessons I learned in the United States with Coach Bergen. Everybody was equal. Nobody is better because you're an Olympic champion. Everybody trains hard. Although I felt sometimes pretty ashamed because I was born with that talent. And of course you also have to do the hard work and dedication and everything. But there's many girls and boys who did the same training as me in the United States, but not even going to the nationals. I found that very difficult, and sometimes I felt ashamed that I was the lucky one with the talent, and I could go there, and some didn't. And it's always nice to be rewarded for all the hard work you put in. Yeah. I think if I didn't have the talent and I was that level, I would have quit already when I was young. Yeah, you want to be rewarded with a medal or with a shoulder clap or something. Yeah. Not money-wise, but yeah.
I see that.
So.
What are the habits that make you a successful person or athlete?
I think the habits has for everybody a different meaning, I think. The habits. Yeah, for swimmers it's, I think that for all the same thing. Waking up, for me it was 4:30. I was in the water at 5. Train, eat, sleep, and that could be rope climbing with no legs, biking, running an hour. I hate running, but I did it. Everybody left already when I came back in the pool. Habits, eat well, sleep well, take care of your body, always believe and see that goal in front of you, and you don't have to live it every day. Don't be too busy with that thought, but keep it in the back of your mind. That's what I would do. That's what I did. Yeah. And keep the focus always. You can have fun. You can sometimes go to the cinema. I mean, that was my only fun thing, or go out to dinner alone. Yeah, but I was at the right place because we went from Washington D.C., Virginia, and then my American coach wanted to move to Portland, Oregon, and he told me, Inky, as my nickname, he said, I totally understand if you don't want to travel with me, because if you're not depressed, you'll get depressed there, because it's only raining, pouring, non-stop. But for me, it was the best place I could be for the focus. There was nothing. There was rain, there was a mountain, and a swimming pool. Perfect place. I think if I would have swam in Miami or LA, it would have been nothing for me. I wouldn't have succeeded because you have too many distractions.
I saw in an interview, it was not too long ago, I guess you attended some camp or retreat, and one thing I found really interesting, you said, in this retreat, I learned tools that I can use when I have difficulties believing in myself. With you, for all the people watching, with all you have achieved, you have difficulties believing in yourself?
Sometimes, yeah, of course. I think also successful people can have their doubts and insecurities. There's nothing wrong with that. I think athletes are insecure people, but you never show it to the outside world. That keeps you eager, that keeps you sharp. That's nothing wrong with that. But I built it this way when I went into Sydney 2000 Olympic Games. I was overloaded with confidence and I was so ready. That was ridiculous. Yeah. But then still, of course, I was nervous. But you don't show it. You put it aside. I need the pressure from audience, from press, from myself to perform. I cannot live without pressure. And of course, life is a total different ball game. You come across with cruelty, cruel world. People can be really mean. And because the swimming world was so safe and secure, and you know that your whole life, so you never get hurt. Basically, you can only feel hurt when you lose a race, or when you feel that race wasn't what you were expecting or you hoped for. But in real life, you don't. It's out of your hand. You have to learn to cope with it, basically. And I found it very hard sometimes. To lose friends or with any circumstances. Yeah, sometimes anyone can be insecure. I remember what Kevin Costner said about Whitney Houston. She was very insecure with The Bodyguard, the movie. And she was all the time from, am I doing it well? Is it okay? But that's the positive insecureness, I think. To always want to be better. And that's what you want in sport, yeah? You want to always do better than you can. And that's the drive. These people are so driven, including myself. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with insecurity. And of course I sometimes felt a little lost by losing friends, or when things didn't go your way in the normal life that you have to learn to cope and deal with. And then it's nice to have the tools that I learned in the retreat. Yeah, to use them. Why not? Yeah. I'm not a believer in to go to a psychiatrist or a dietist. I've never had those things. I always went out from my own, sounds so arrogant, but goodness, like to believe in yourself. That's all those things I've learned from Coach Bergen. So all the tools he gave me, I can use in a normal life as well. And that's a big lesson in any shape or form. What it was in swimming, you can use it in your normal life as well. It's beautiful.
Really cool.
You did your homework, eh, Christian?
Of course.
That's so nice. to have
I
some
actually-
different questions sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to do is not ask the questions everyone asks, right? So swimmers have early mornings.
Yep. And I'm
Do you have a morning routine?
Yeah, I'm a morning person. No big deal to wake up. Of course, I don't want to wake up 4:30 in the morning anymore, but automatically I wake up 6:30. Depends on if it's winter or summer. But it's so in your system to wake up all those mornings, almost your whole life. It's in my system, so no problem. First, coffee, like George Clooney. Yeah. Strong woman, strong coffee. So double espresso.
Oh, nice.
And I love my self-made smoothies, fresh fruit, fresh orange juice, banana, all kinds of fruits. I love that. And fruit, or if I don't do smoothie, I do an apple or two mandarijn.
Clementine or something, yeah.
Yeah. And always 2 liters of water, standard, yeah. Fresh shower, I love shower, yeah. And then Monday morning, first thing, yeah, that's my routine. And then go to the gym and train my ass off for 2.5 hours. I love it. Best start of the week for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for important moments?
Important moments in sport?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I started to learn like about the visualization of your, not only the race but also the preparation going into for example, the Olympics. I always had rap or hip hop songs blasting through the speakers to pump me up. And when I was still in the Olympic Village or in my room, I always wanted to, after the lunch, I wanted to take a really hot bath, because if you have stress, you always get tense. You feel the nervousness. You need to perform. So I always get it in my neck and shoulders and my upper legs, and these. You need those to perform well. So what I do is a really, really hot bath. And what I hear recently, that everybody's taking those ice baths. I couldn't cope with that. I'm happy that was after I stopped swimming, because I would have had cramped up immediately. But anyway, so a hot bath. Then put all the warm clothes I have, like gloves, socks, big clothes, like thick clothes to keep you warm. And then, you visualize it when you go to the pool in the bus, sitting in the bus, going to the pool. And then you look for your place, your spot to prepare yourself, do the warming up. Then you do the warm up in the swimming pool. And then it felt like, as soon as I touched the water, all the tensity fell off the weight fell off my shoulders, basically. And then, you get in the mood, you feel, getting ready and everything. Oh, I so want to swim right now at this moment. And then, you get out, and then, it's focus. That's basically it. Nobody could disturb me. It was, okay, lane 4, representing the Netherlands, world record holder, you hear the whole route. And I was ready, I felt always, that's a big difference with some other athletes who don't succeed, I think, and I've learned that through the years, is to go to the pool and visualize, okay, act like the whole audience came for you. Who cares? If that makes you feel better, do it. And also see yourself winning, visualize those things, not on the day itself, but way before. And you have to you have to go to the starting block and say, like, okay, this is the moment, this is the time to shine. I finally can show what I've trained for all these years. But if most of the athletes are too scared, they enter the swimming pool and it's their time to shine, and they're like, oh my God, no, now I have to go, now I have to do it. You already lost your race right there. It's the mindset. It's so important to have that right.
Because that was something I was thinking about, especially in swimming, right? You come into the arena and then everyone sits on his chair, and then for some time you sit there. So how?
It's more in the ready room where the intimidating games play. I've never had to do that because I could always trust on my own achievements. So if you train hard and well, and you have no doubts, you don't need to intimidate people. That's for athletes who didn't do every training, who don't have confidence. No, it's true. Who don't have the confidence and want to take others down in order to maybe win. That's a really bad habit, I think. So you need to exit your rival in order to win. Yeah, I think that's a nasty thing, really nasty. I've had it happen one time.
It happened to you?
Yeah, I have the semi-final Olympic Games in Sydney. One girl gave a spit in my lane, and I was like, in a split second you have to reset your brain and think, and focus, go back and focus. But you don't expect somebody to spit in your lane, And she did. So I was trained by my American coach, never let anything happen or disturb you in your race becoming a champion. So, inhale, exhale, and I was like, why am I here? I'm here to win, to do this race for the 1000% right. And it was there, no words, but let your stroke speak, and do your job in the water. Smash back, world record. And she lost all her sponsorships because, they felt ashamed for her actions, and it's never good to intimidate. You just work hard yourself, and you don't need to intimidate other people. No. But it did happen. Yeah, it happened to me, unfortunately. But still won, though.
Well, it didn't work then. How do you overcome setbacks?
Oh, I've learned that years ago, of course. It's always easier when they say if you have a setback, think positive. And of course, everybody has their setbacks. But it's true, you never give up. Just never give up. You can have a crybaby day, you can cry whatever you want, and as long as you want, but all of a sudden you have to say, okay, no more, this is it, boom. And from here on, we go, think positive again. And you can use those tools, Be happy when you wake up and the sun shines. Be happy that you're healthy enough to, be an athlete and even, do the things you love. But you have to refine yourself find your passion back if that was gone. But you can always overcome setbacks. I don't say it's easy because I've had it, but after a setback flows always something positive. I'm the example of it, I think, one of them. That nobody believed in me anymore. And then Sydney came, and it was my best event ever in my life. So sometimes you have to be a loner and deal with it yourself. Sometimes nobody can help you. They can push you a little bit in the right direction, but you have to do it yourself, always. This world is a nice place with many cultures and nice people, but in the end, you're born alone and you go alone. You have to you have to do it yourself. I'm a little bit lucky because I'm a twin sister, so I was born together. But no, I feel really blessed to, that I've done it my way. Pretty pleased with it.
Really cool. Who's your role model and why?
Oh, I think I have 3. First one is my mom. She raised 4 children by herself. I think I have the courage and the power to never give up from her, because my father wasn't there. And the second one is my first coach. When I was 7, he already made me believe that I was a talent. And if you start believing that, that's also my first experience, I think, of thinking positive and that things can happen if somebody believes in you, and you can flow into that thought also and also start believing in you. And step by step you set your goals a little higher and sharper. And then of course in the end it's the man I have to thank the most in my sports career is Coach Bergen. Yeah. He made me the person that I am today with all the lessons learned. His vision of becoming a true athlete, not only a champion but a true athlete with norms, and he learned me how to think right, the positive way, even in struggling. I miss him. I think of him every day, I think. Yeah. So I'm really, really thankful, and I still feel sad that he couldn't be there at the moment that I was at my best at the Olympics in Sydney, because the Dutch Federation didn't let him go to be my coach. But I just hope he's proud and that it's because of him that I could do this. I'm very thankful. Very. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Really cool. What's the best advice you received and who gave it to you?
Some of it myself. I learned to do that myself, and some, lessons by others, by the American coach, my mom. Yeah, it's never give up. Always believe in yourself. It's so cliche, but you can always do more than you think you can. Setbacks are necessary to come further. Yeah. Put goals, but do it reasonably. And if you're young, of course, step by step. And then you get there. There's so many, Be passionate of what you do, and be really conscious about the choices you make. Don't let anybody decide that for you, because you are on earth with a purpose, and it doesn't matter what you do, but do it with passion or nothing at all. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many quotes and mottos that I use and say also sometimes in my presentations, but I don't know. You name one. I'll test you. You name one.
Something I live by?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the quotes I definitely like is from Martin Luther King, and I have it on my phone as a screensaver. And it says, "The true measure of a man comes in the time of turbulences, not in the times of comfort."
Right.
So when things are getting
Well, that's
difficult,
exactly what I explained before.
It shows your personality.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
one.
then
I have many quotes I live by.
I love nice texts, and I love it. Yeah.
Vince Lombardi, "Only in the dictionary success comes before work."
Oh no, I don't agree with that one.
No?
No. And Michael Jordan has ook many nice quotes. Muhammad Ali, of course. Yeah, and be thankful. I'm really a thankful person that I, was born even with the talent, and that somebody put me in that shape and form, mentally, physically, to reach the highest level possible, and not 1, 2, but 4 times. That. But there's so many I can think of. And I have them written down, but I'm not here.
We do it another time.
Okay.
Talking about advice, and something you touched on earlier, but I've written a note down here, you probably have a lot of good pieces of advice. Did you never consider going into coaching?
Yes, I did, actually. But I think I would be the most miserable coach, because I'm really hard on myself, but I'm not hard to other people, swimming-wise, especially kids. You know, you have to give them confidence, you have to boost them into their energy and confidence. You have them you have to give them compliments. But for athlete swimmers, you need to. They have to learn the hard way. I believe that worked for me, and I'm not saying physically, but sometimes you can have a coach that's verbally very, yelling, screaming. In my case, that was the case. But you have a problem when he's not yelling and when he leaves you aside. Then you have a problem, because then he doesn't care. Then if you don't work for him, he's not going to work for you either. It works vice versa, That's why the click between a coach and an athlete is so important. If you don't have that click, that magic trust and feel, then you should look for another coach, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
What was it again? Sorry.
No, if you never considered going into coaching.
I mean
swimming coaching.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. I've been asked to be a head coach in another country, but I think I'm not good enough for that. It sounds weird, but if you're a good athlete, a soccer player, swimmer, athlete, whatever, it's no guarantee that you also can become a good coach. For example, Coach Burgen, my American coach, and Jacques Overharen from the Dutch team were average swimmers, but outstanding, so good in coaching. They're 2 different things.
Yeah. You know what I heard once, and I think that makes a lot of sense to me, that the superior athletes, who are very good as athletes, sometimes they cannot understand if athletes struggle, right? Because for them it becomes everything comes a bit more natural.
Right.
But the ones who have been average or not top, they can relate to that better, right? They know they need to work a bit harder and something like this. And I think that made a lot of sense to me when I heard it. Because as you said, I mean, the top coaches most often were not the top
best,
players. Sometimes it happens, like we talk about Cruyff in the Netherlands, right? He was a good player, a good coach.
Exactly.
But if you look at other coaches, you can see
not many.
They have not been the top guys. They have been a little bit
See, so there's no guarantee. Yeah. There's no guarantee in life anyway. Not in love, not in success, not in. That's nice, yeah. Otherwise, you have this crystal ball and you know already where it's gonna end, where you're gonna go. That's life. You have to search and overcome things, and that makes it more pretty, I think. Yeah.
Cool. Quickly, a rundown. How did a typical training day look like? So we know you got up at 4:30.
Yeah.
Then what happened next? Coffee?
No, I didn't drink coffee back then.
Okay.
Banana, That was the only thing I could. Otherwise, if I have like 3 sandwiches 4:30 in the morning, I would throw up everything in the pool. So eat light was my thing. And then I was in my car driving to the swimming pool. Oh, most of the time with Tupac on. It's just me against the world, baby. Yeah, it felt that way. I was alone in my hotel room. I was driving to that pool alone, and it felt that way. And then Coach Bergen walks in. He said, "Oh, what a beautiful morning! Oh, what a beautiful day!" Yeah, to start off right, the positive. But we didn't feel like that at all. And then you dive into that cold water, and start your training, swimming. And when you come back in the hotel and you feel like, okay, 7, 8 kilometers of training, and you write that down, it's like, okay, well, I didn't go quite as well, but I did my best, gave it all, and this is another little stepping stone towards my goal. And that's to win at the Olympics. So that's how I thought. Even if it's a different smiley face or a real smiley face, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Then I came back. I ate cornflakes, bagels. Then I had to go running an hour, go back to the pool. No, rest, do my nap. Because if I didn't take a nap, that's like taking care of your body. You have to sleep. In order to perform again during the afternoon session, and that was 2.5 hours swimming, and then weight training, sometimes also running, Thai bow, and the rope climbing. And then you have 1 day off on Sunday, and then I didn't do anything, I only slept. Sometimes I was even too tired and go to bed at 9 to eat or go to the Italian who made my dinner fresh with fresh veggies, and it was warm so I could take it to my, because I'm a lazy person in cooking. I was too tired to even cook. I could cook, but sometimes I was so tired I couldn't even eat, and I just dropped myself on bed and had the power and energy to put the timer for the next morning. Sometimes it was hard, couldn't even lift my arms. I had to have 2 or 3 times a massage in the week, a professional one, like no physiotherapy, just really relaxation. I was more dead than alive, basically. But you have to go through that. That makes it also beautiful in the end.
How many weeks a year would you think was that feeling that you felt more dead than alive?
Yeah, how many months or weeks?
Weeks. I mean, I assume for competitions, we talked about that earlier, there's some taper, so once the competition comes, you're feeling fresh. But
but that's the thing. Even sometimes when I was in complete heavy training, and that was the year of the Olympics, from May to July, I think I did 8 world records, but I was still in heavy training. My coach didn't allow me to, lower the intensity. It still had to be, and then one taper time, because you can also taper too early. And then the whole competition that you have to perform and do right, then your peak is already gone. It was too early. And that's also a trick from the coach to get that right, to peak at the right moment and the right time. And I think in my case, Jacques Overharen, who was always with me during the big competitions, he knew that, as no other, together with Coach Bergen, because there was always conversation between them. But you don't have to be tapered and all shaved and in shape and to perform well. It's a mindset.
That's a very powerful statement.
Yeah, some people think that. I thought that when I was little.
Yes.
But I'm the living proof that you can still train like a beast and make many, many kilometers and still perform well in a race.
And break world records.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, it is possible. And then you get wings, and you get that boost, and you still have to go to the Olympics, and everybody's scared of you because you are the world record holder. They have to chase you, and it's better to, let's say this word right. it's more difficult to stay a champion than to become a champion, because you feel the sour air breath from your rivals in your neck, and because everybody wants what you're having right at that moment, and to chase another one is more easy than to gain and keep your success. That's why 4 years later, after Sydney, Athens was so much more difficult than Sydney. Of course, it never was easy, but to achieve it again, and they all expected again like 3 gold medals, it's not easy. Yeah. So for me, it was in the climax. First I had bronze, again bronze, silver, and then I had one moment, one last chance. I always think back of Eminem. If you got one chance, one opportunity, would you take it or would you let it slip? And I passed that room where they had the cushions with the medals on it, and I was like, I am never gonna go back to the Netherlands without that gold medal on my neck. It had to be mine. Mm. And who wants it? Who's the most eager? I had to win that medal. Otherwise, I was gonna stay in Athens and not go back to the Netherlands. I was that determined to get that gold medal.
Was that the sweetest one?
It was the most difficult gold, I think, for me, because it's, your body starts changing. You don't recover that well and quickly as 4 years before. I got overtrained a little bit as well. It's a difficult task to redo the whole thing again, and even only get 1 gold medal. But that was my goal. I wanted 1 gold, and it was, thank God, on the last day, on the most difficult event, 50 freestyle. There's one for everybody a chance. The clock is on 0. You have 8 finalists. Anyone can grab the gold. Anyone can fail. It's a lottery. You never know in the 50 freestyle who's gonna win. Mm. But I knew in myself I wanted to win. Yeah, and of course everybody wants it, but I was really pleased to touch that wall, and I saw, whoa, yeah, number 1 behind my name, and then I could go back and finish my career basically with a gold medal. And I didn't know that at that time, because I'm so ecstatic and euphoric that I was screaming out loud, hey, I'm going to continue for 4 more years. And Coach Bergen said, well, see about that. And then I was like, okay, do I, after a holiday and thinking about it, do you really want to continue this for 4 more years? I was already 32 years old. And then all of a sudden I had an interview, and it was about the new generation. And I'm a very intuitive, am I saying this right? Intuitive.
Intuitive?
Yeah, person. I'm a very intuitive person. So, and all of a sudden they asked me, Inge, are you going to continue or going to quit? And everything fell in place, and I was like, yeah, it's nice, it's okay right now. I'm in a good place. It's time to handle that magic stick to the new generation, and it's time for me to take 10 steps back and focus on, the new generation by helping them, inspire them. But no more waking up 4:30 in the morning, training 8 hours a day. Yeah, I felt good enough. Yeah, good at that moment. I was at peace to say goodbye of the professional career, basically. Mm. Yeah, and enjoy the new life. That was it. Yeah.
That leads perfectly into the next question.
Okay.
What's going on in Inge de Bruijn's life at this moment in time?
Oh, there's so many nice things. Oh, I'm presenting a brand new TV program on RTL 4. It's a lifestyle program. We're already doing the opname days. Hoe zeg je dat? The
recording.
The recording days. We started already in October, and it's going to be broadcast on RTL 4 on the 2nd of February. It's very nice to do, and next to that I'm giving presentations to companies. I'm a motivational speaker, give swim clinics to kids, the elderly, or celebrities, or whatever. and I am a columnist for the Telegraph, which is the biggest newspaper in the Netherlands for swimming. Influencer, so I promote, but I did that all my life. You promote a brand or a company on Instagram. Those
You also
things.
do commentary at the Olympics, right?
Yeah, I did. Analyzing,
Saw
not
that
anymore.
in 2012, I think I saw you on
Yeah, I did it
television.
on. Since I quit swimming, I was analyzing the biggest events in swimming, so World Champs, Europeans, and the Olympics. Yeah.
Cool. And then you said you give presentations to companies. Do the challenges in the corporate world are similar to the challenges in sport?
I think so. It's very identical, those two. And of course, I can only speak from my own experience, but you can see some links, definitely. Depends on which company, of course, but yeah, there's definitely... And I think, who better to learn from than an athlete? Yeah.
That's what I'm doing it for. Here
Yeah.
for. I mean,
It's very
you
nice.
guys have done it.
And most of the times they see me walk in the room, hundreds of people, and they kind of like, what is this blonde swimmer has to tell me, you know? And then afterwards they even keep, they stay there for 1 hour and a half more because they want to do the meet and greet, and they want to ask me more questions about this and that, and it's satisfaction. It's a really satisfaction feeling to do. Also internationally, there was even recently I did one, and there were 4 companies who wanted to give me the presentation, and now they were so enthusiastic that I have to go to London and do another one. So it's nice.
Really cool.
I feel good about talking about my passion and the struggle and everything that came in my career, the good and the bad things. People with a company have to deal with that as well. So for me it's easy to talk about it. And fun.
Cool.
And fulfilling, yes.
Do you want to nominate someone to be interviewed?
Oh, difficult. I've one in mind, but he lives a little bit far away. Who's your...
The modern technology makes it possible. Online. But yeah, you were saying...
A big
who's your-
athlete, you want. But who do you inspire? Who would you like to have for your to interview for your next thing? What is your dream?
I have a few names.
Okay,
I've
I'm curious.
I've actually done episode 0 where I named them. Nadia Comaneci, Katharina Witt, Alberto Tomba, Pirosh Dimas, Michael Jordan, Rafa Nadal.
Yeah, and I had Michael Jordan in mind. Yeah. I wanted to say Muhammad Ali and Johan Cruyff, because those were my most inspiring two from the sports world, but unfortunately they're not with us anymore. Yeah, but then Michael Phelps. It's maybe easier for you. But yeah, Michael Jordan.
It will also be a challenge.
Good, nice, eh? Yeah. So good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Wait, the most important thing is following. Where can people find you?
On the socials, you mean? Oh, that will be Instagram.
At the Inge de Bruijn swim stadium. This is one place where they can find you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not here all the time, but you can send your presents here if you like. No, the swimming pool. On social media would be Instagram. That's my most favorite thing that I, like to do the influence things on as well. LinkedIn, Facebook. I have 2 pages. Twitter. I don't do much Twitter though. Instagram. Follow me on Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. Inge, thanks for your time.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for your beautiful questions. It was nice. And hopefully you get Michael Jordan next time.
Let's hope for the best.
Thank you for your time. Thanks.